Welcome, CFSL fans, to Dick Stadium in Kent, Ohio, where tonight it will be host to the rivalry game between Bowling Green Falcons and the Kent State Golden Flashes. Welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Jeff Melanition. Joining me tonight will be Elon Olive. Elon, we have some really good teams in the MAC, and Kent State's one of them, 3-0 currently. Meanwhile, Bowling Green, 1-2. What do you want to see from Bowling Green if they have any chance to pull off the upset here tonight?
Well, first off, this is a rivalry game, so you can take all the stats and throw them out the window. But the one thing that stands out to me looking at the stats, offensive-wise, Bowling Green is a little bit more balanced than Kent State. Kent likes to go to the air first, but looking at it, it's almost 50-50 for Bowling Green. So I expect them to kind of use that run game and try to do some misdirection early.
So first down and 10 for Dylan Tate, who we'll see with the ball first as he will hand it off to Tyler King Jr., trying to get some blocking upfield, picks up 6 yards, and just like that, going to be 2nd and 4.
And if you can have a running back that just takes off from the get-go and puts up 6 yards at the beginning, it could be a very long night for Bowling Green. They've got to really step in there. It's early, but we'll see what happens.
Option play here, but it's going to be blown up by Steven Kovacs as the defensive end getting in there for his first tackle and tackle for loss of the night.
Kovacs does a good job just going through that offensive line. He sees the quarterback, Dylan Tate, and just kind of brings him down.
So Dylan Tate here, 3rd down and 5, trips to the top of the formation. Dylan Tate all sorts of time decides to take off and run, but he is going to be stopped on the play by Sky Baines as he comes up and gets his first sack of the evening. And just like that, 3 and out for the Kent State Golden Flashes.
Jeff, you asked what could Bowling Green do to pull off the upset here tonight, and start out like that. That's a big step forward. Make Kent State go 3 and out.
And last week, Dylan Tate is someone you really need to watch and really need to slow down. Just like Curtis Andrews last week, Dylan Tate was 24-33, 289, and had 3 touchdowns in here. It's a quick 3 and out for him. But now Bowling Green, as Nick Edwards on the 12-yard return, we get to see their offense and Jake Brummer for the first time.
And now this will tell you a lot about what Bowling Green has in store. If they can make some headway here in this first drive, they don't even really need to put points up, but at least to kind of move the ball a little bit more effective than Kent, that could go a long way.
And there, Jake Brummer keeps on the option keeper, and that's going to be 7 yards, and it's going to be 2nd and 3. So 2-by-2 set here for Brummer, and he's going to hand it off to Harris, trying to get out the left side. He does. And the right side, and he's going to pick up a first down, and that's a good run, and the first down that we've seen in the game, courtesy of the Falcons.
And there goes Bowling Green establishing that run game. Listen to these stats here, Jeff. Bowling Green averages about 210 yards a game running, 211 passing. Very balanced attack here from the reigning MAC champions.
And there's Sean McLaren for a pickup of 10 on the play, so just like that, back-to-back first downs.
And this is what Bowling Green needs to do. They need to establish that run game and really kind of take their time with it.
First down and 10. Trying to set up the halfback screen. Brummer finds Harris, and he's got blocking downfield. Picks up the block inside the 10, breaking out of the tackle, and then pushed out of bounds. And this could be first down and goal.
Yeah, Tanaris Harris is the halfback. Doesn't have a lot of receptions, but you know what? He did a good job there. I think that's only his 26th reception, but I say that he's leading the team in reception. So there's what I know.
Yeah, Tanaris Harris with a good run and was pushed out by Clubber Moss, the free safety for Kent State. Quick throw, but it's going to be play action. Brummer will look underneath. He actually finds his receiver, Brigham Ray, picks up 7, and it's going to be 2nd and goal.
That brings up 2nd and goal.
That's his 12th reception of the season for Ray. So a target that Brummer is clearly comfortable with.
2nd and goal. Shotgun formation, and there's Harris up the middle, and an easy pickings up and through to the Pater. So he tacks on the first touchdown of the game, and Bowling Green, after the 3 and out they forced on Kent State, marches down the field in 6 plays, 51 yards, and they find the end zone and get on the board first.
That's a big touchdown for Bowling Green, a way to set the pace here against Kent State. You talk about it. What does Bowling Green need to do to pull off the upset? That's a good start.
And we saw this with NIU last night, that they were 1-2, and they were able to defeat the Miami Redhawks. And a nice return for Kent State by Dawson Tate, 41 yards. And so this could be maybe where Kent State gets their offense clicking here with a good return.
It's going to be big to see how Kent State responds. I mean, they just went 3 and out against this Falcons defense, and now they just watched the other offense kind of handle their defense pretty easily.
2-by-2 set as Tate will hand it off to King Jr. as he's going to be wrestled down on the play, but not before he picks up just one, as Bill Cherry with the first tackle.
King Jr. with 64 carries, 209 yards on the season.
Keeping it is Tate, and he got all sorts of room down the sidelines, breaks it to the 34 before he's pushed out of bounds. And we're seeing both quarterbacks use their wheels, and here Dylan Tate does just that.
That's 6 yards shy of his long for the season, 34. So right now, Kent State's starting to kind of find their balance, showing that 3 and out is nothing to panic about.
2 receivers to the top, 1 to the bottom, but the one comes in motion, but it's going to be Tyler King Jr. up the middle, so a little bit of misdirection, picks up 5 on the play.
Right now, he's averaging 4 yards carry early in the game, but you expect that number to climb up more as they just continue to pound the rock down the center.
11 carries, 45 yards last week, and 1 touchdown for Tyler King Jr. Looking to get those yards up a bit. And in motion, there he goes. He'll be on the top of the formation. They're trying the halfback screen that way. He catches it. He breaks out of a tackle. That's enough for the first down and 8 yards, and beautifully designed by Kent State.
Tyler King Jr. saying, you know what, Tenarius isn't the only one who can make plays from the screen. I can do that as well.
Receiver coming in motion is Nickelberry, but it's going to be a handoff to the Jordan Tate, the backup running back, spelling Tyler King Jr. picks up 1 on the play.
We'll see what Bowling Green can do here, trying to establish some momentum defensively, keep this game from getting tied up.
2nd and 9. 2 receivers to the bottom of the formation, 1 to the top. They're going to try the halfback draw, and that is not going to work. As coming in yet again, Bill Cherry, already up to 3 tackles and 1 tackle for loss. And here a 3rd and 9 for the Golden Flashes.
Big time play by Cherry, really puts Kent State a little bit on their back heels right now.
Dylan Tate dropping back to take a shot, and it is going to be caught. What a play! What a catch by Dawson Tate, the receiver, coming up big and coming back to the football in a big play.
Definitely a connection there between Dylan and Dawson. Look at this. He gets behind his defender, makes the break, and you could make the argument that he almost could have gotten into the end zone if he jumped back instead of forward, but great play there.
And David Anderson Jr. was the one in coverage that tried to go for the interception but came up short, maybe just a couple of fingernails short of the interception or getting a hand on the football. But Dylan Tate, 1st and goal, doesn't see anything he likes, takes off, and he's into the end zone. So both touchdowns that have been scored by the offenses have been running, one by Dylan Tate, the quarterback, the other by Tenarius Harris. But we are an extra point away from being all knotted up, Elon.
And Dylan Tate did a great job. He saw that there was nowhere to go in the air, saw there was plenty of room for him to take it for those 3 yards for the touchdown, and that's exactly what he did.
And what a good answer from Kent State that went 3 and out and had to put the football away. Now, what can this do for momentum for Kent State?
Well, being in your own stadium, realizing that you can take the best shot that Bowling Green has, go 3 and out, and then come back and respond like that, mixing it up with the run game and the pass game, it really puts the momentum right back on the home team. Now it's up for Bowling Green to kind of take it back. We'll see what they do.
Kent State will start with 4 down defensive linemen on 1st and 10. Jake Brummer, play action, the lefty, going to gunsling it to the sidelines, and McLaren is there for a pickup of 4, but can't do anything but go out of bounds.
Jeff, we're expecting a high-scoring game here. Kent State averaging 25.6 points per game. When you look at Bowling Green, though, they're averaging very, very close, around 30 points per game.
Josh Shuren with a nice play, breaks out of a tackle as they did the quick receiver screen. And normally that's something you don't really want to throw into your arsenal because you never know what the defense is going to do because it could be a house call. But here, Shuren with a nice grab and a big first down for the Falcons. But meanwhile, going on with the Nebraska game and Oklahoma, Nebraska with a pair of field goals, and they lead 6-0 at the end of the first quarter. That one going over on twitch.tv. Here, Jake Brummer, first down and 10. Quick throw yet again to the receiver's side, and it's caught breaking out of a tackle, and a big play by Kyle DeVita.
17-yard gain. That is exactly what Bowling Green needs to do. You always wonder when a team takes the lead on the road and the other team answers back fairly quickly, how that other offense is going to respond. And I think we're getting the flavor of this game. This is going to be a track meet.
So first down and 10 as Bowling Green on their second drive, looking really crisp on offense. Two receivers to the bottom of the formation, one to the top. Fullback in motion, handoff to Harris, who's hasn't been used this much on this drive, but he's trying to make the most of it. Picks up 4 before he's tackled down by Scott Jones.
Yeah, someone took a shot there from Harris. They thought they had him in the backfield, but he just says no, sir, and keeps plowing through.
So again, same formation. Are they going to try it with Harris yet again? No play action this time. Brummer will throw off his back foot. That's something you don't want to see a quarterback do, but connects with Vito Parr, the tight end, for a pickup of 4.
And that sets up yet another 3rd and short for Bowling Green.
Third and 2 for Jake Brummer. Trips to the top of the formation, but they're trying the option play. Brummer, he's going to be hit, and he's going to be driven back. He cannot get the first down, and a big stop by Dale Auber.
Yeah, Uber definitely came up and made the play there. And now 4th and inches, we're going for it early here.
I like this play call. Harris, but he's going to be up. What a play by Kent State, and what a call. What a gutsy call. Christopher Barnes getting in there for the stop on Harris. And again, I like the play calling, Elon.
It makes sense. I mean, you really have nothing to lose. Worst case scenario, hand it over deep in their own territory like what we're seeing, but it's still a tie ball game. But Barnes read that one like a book.
So Uber with a big stop, and then Barnes coming up for Kent State on the next play. Gives the ball back to Dylan Tate. Again, taken off and run with a nice little move. Trucks over a defender, and then gets stopped by Tyler Rogalski.
Vaughn Carlton from Bowling Green had a chance to make the play, and they'll show it on the replay right here. He just puts on the jets and just outspeeds him. Just a great run there by quarterback Dylan Tate.
Vaughn Carlton is going to be seeing Dylan Tate in his nightmares tonight after that little okey doke. And here it's going to be 1st and 10. Play action rolling out, and he's just going to have to throw this one away.
Good coverage by the Bowling Green defense, causing kind of to stop that momentum. Like when you get a great play like that, you want to keep going. You want to get the play started quickly so you can keep capitalizing on that momentum. But causing him to throw that one out quick kind of kills it a little bit, as it's a 4-yard reception for Nickelberry.
And there, a quick throw, but Shane Haas is there for the quick stop. And they tried the little quick throw out to Jace Nickelberry, but it was only for a short gain. But here, 3rd and 6 is Dylan Tate with the blitz coming, but it was picked up, but not able to get past. Again, Vaughn Carlton this time comes up and makes the stop.
And how big, Jeff, is that pressure play that caused him to throw it out of bounds right after that big pickup? It looked like they were just going to keep cruising to move the chains, and now 3 plays in a row they've stalled out.
Exactly. That was a good point that you made, Elon. And again, I mean, Vaughn Carlton, we thought maybe he was going to be a little bit not seeing Dylan Tate in his nightmares, but here he comes up with a big one, able to get disengaged from the offensive lineman and able to tackle Dylan Tate from behind.
Yeah, big stop here from Bowling Green, especially if they can get a good return here. I mean, they're going to be around the 35-yard line, so it's a decent field position for Bowling Green, and now real chance here to add on to their points and take the lead.
After this play, I want to get what you want to see from this Bowling Green offense here after this play by Harris, who's going to shrug off a defender, and he is loose down the sidelines, and he gives a block downfield, but he's being chased and will be tackled by Clubber Moss.
That's what I want to see. Establish the run game. Again, this Bowling Green team, they average 210 yards running, 211 yards passing. They're a very balanced attack. Establish that run, open up some play action to go deep downfield. That's exactly what I want to see from Bowling Green.
McLaren was the one downfield trying to get the block that Clubber Moss disengaged from, as Jake Brummer throwing it underneath, pass caught, breaking out of a tackle, and a nice play by Ray picking up 13 and another first down for the Falcons.
You see that he's got only 2 receptions, but they're big catches on the end. Also, Brummer yet to miss any of his receivers. He's 8 for 8.
Well, now the commentator Curse is going to come back and bite you, Elon, with that one. But Harris showing his strength as he powers through the Golden Flashes. And then Colt Jenkins just having to play safety from his defensive tackle spot to bring Harris down.
Just great play selection by the coaching staff of Bowling Green. Their game plan has been executed well by the players.
Quick throw across the middle. Pass is caught by Brigham Ray yet again. Pickup of 9.
And now that's his 3rd reception. He's got 10 on the first 2, 9 on that one. He's becoming a threat downfield. Kent State needs to account for him.
All right, we've already seen this type of formation already for the Falcons. They ran it 2 straight times. This time, handoff up the middle again to the running back. Nick Edwards this time will get a carry, pick up a 3.
We'll see if they get a playoff before the end of the first, but right now, Bowling Green has recaptured the momentum.
Very entertaining first quarter of play. And again, we'll have to see. They're going to take a play call, and it's going to be broken up in the backfield as Dick Manchin comes in and cleans that one out for his first tackle for loss on the evening, his 2nd tackle of the night. And with 1 second left, that's going to do it as the clock just hit 000 in the first quarter. Boy, what an exciting first quarter of play. 7-7 is the score from Dick Stadium in Kent, Ohio, in this rivalry game between Bowling Green and Kent State. We'll be back with the second quarter right after this. You're watching PX1 Sports on YouTube. The broadcast partner with me tonight is Elon Olive, as we're coming to you live from Kent, Ohio, as Drake Brummer setting up the halfback screen and cannot get the block, and a big stop there yet again as Kent State, Scott Jones, the corner, coming in and now having to force a field goal attempt.
Will be Evan Lambert coming on for Bowling Green. One thing I want to point out, Jeff, there was a stat there that kind of surprised me. Bowling Green 0 for 1 on 3rd down. That just tells you that they've not been in very many 3rd down positions. They've done a great job moving the ball and keeping that Kent State defense on their heels.
All right, so we've seen a couple drives here, but now it's early in the second quarter, and Bowling Green again regains the lead, 10-7. But what have you been seeing from both teams that you're really starting to see in terms of trends?
Right now, like I said, Bowling Green is going to do exactly what I think they should be doing. They're going to use that run game to open up the pass game. Kent State, they need to keep the tempo high. They need to get a big play right here from Tate, and then they need to get right back up and stack another big play on top of it. Remember, they had that big 17-yard rush by Tate. It looked like they were getting ready to move the chains. This was late in the first quarter, and then the rush caused Tate to throw it out of bounds in the next play. It's going to be all about momentum for Kent State.
Radloff in motion, goes into the slot on the top side. Pressure coming, and the blitz gets home yet again. Dylan Schaefer this time, defensive tackle, disengages and gets to Dylan Tate first.
You know what? I think that's going to be the key for this Bowling Green defense. Don't let them stack big plays like what Kent State is obviously trying to do. If you can get them to you can give up one big play, but then you stop that momentum. It's a little bit harder for Kent State to build it back up from what we're seeing tonight.
Pistol set look, pressure coming from the corner blitz. Dylan Tate connects with Radloff. Big play to his tight end, 39 yards, and he stood in that pocket and took a hit.
A great concentration by Tate to find Radloff downfield. I'm looking right now to see if that is his farthest catch of the year. 48 is his long, so it's up there. What a play there.
Now they're going to decide to go into the I formation, as that one's going to be blown up in the backfield. And Bill Cherry from his outside linebacker spot having a big night and making some big tackles in key spots. And here he comes up with another one.
I think that's something that Kent needs to do. They need to kind of take a play out of Bowling Green's book. They need to get Tyler King going. I mean, they'll pass double the amount that they'll run according to the stats.
Dylan Tate slides down. So pick up a 5 on the play and decides to take his life into his own hands and slide before he takes a shot. And especially in a rivalry game, that's probably the right thing to do if you're a quarterback. So trips out of the pistol set here for Dylan Tate, trying to stop the halfback screen to Tyler King Jr. But it's going to go nowhere because, again, the big man in the middle, Dylan Schaefer, coming up and making another big stop.
If I had to pick a player of the game right now, it's Schaefer or Cherry. Those guys have done everything they can. Like I said, they're not letting Kent State stack on momentum. They could have easily put up a drive that marches them into the end zone after that big game by Radloff. Now they've got to settle for a long field goal attempt.
And it is good. What a kick from Dion Wyatt as he gets that one home, and it's all knotted up. We are back at 10-10 and another tie game. And, man, this has been really entertaining and a lot of fun to call.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. We'll see if Bowling Green can match it. Wow, what a coverage there by Kent.
Nick Edwards, 20-yard return. All right, so now we get to see Jake Brummer in the offense for Bowling Green after having to settle for a field goal. And it seems like both offenses really, it's starting to happen with the defenses where they're starting to take advantage. And probably a lot of people thought that these were going to be air yards and air games, but instead it's been halfbacks as Harris picks up 13. But the defenses have really come to play yet again.
Well, Jeff, we talked about it with Bowling Green. There's 1 yard difference between what Bowling Green does on the run and the pass. For Kent, though, they are averaging 138 yards on the ground to almost 250 yards in the air. So obviously the air ball is much more Kent's flavor than going to the ground.
There's Harris yet again, and he picks up a first down and keeps the drive alive for the Falcons. Meanwhile, going on in Lincoln, Nebraska, it's been a field goal fest as it's 6-6 late in the second quarter. That one going over on twitch.tv. 6:22 left to go in the second quarter as Brummer finds his receiver, Brigham Ray, and comes up with another big play of 18.
Ray with another good grab, and Brummer's just been spectacular in the air tonight. That might be what might be the big difference, is the playmaking that we're seeing on Bowling Green.
Now Brummer gets the ball back inside Golden Flash's territory. As it's going to be trips to the bottom of the formation as Harris is going to be sidecar left, and he's going to get the handoff going up the middle, and he gets a pickup of 7 on the play.
That'll bring up 2nd and 3.
So 2nd and 3 upcoming for the Falcons. 2-by-2 set look. Quick receiver throw out wide. Pass is caught. And what a play by Kyle DeVita as he drags Christopher Barnes for a first down.
That makes it 1st and 10.
Yeah, that's a big play there. Bowling Green continuing to just march down this field almost unchecked right now.
McLaren pickup of 6, and again, just it seems like they're Falcons are just taking what they can against the Golden Flashes, and look at that, Brummer's still perfect, 13-13.
Well, I'm off the hook for the announcer's curse now.
Shotgun formation and throwing it underneath as Harris with the grab breaks out of a tackle, and then Clubber Moss coming in and closing it out yet again. He's had a couple of big tackles holding what could have been touchdowns and big plays, and really being the last line of defense.
I'm really impressed with both Harris and Brummer. I think both of those guys are going to be playing in Power 3 schools next year.
And off up the middle to Nick Edwards. He hurdles a defender and picks up extra yards. Pick up a 14 on that one. It's going to be 1st and goal just like that.
I think this is a big stand here for the Kent State defense to see if Bowling Green's going to get in the end zone. And just like that, I mean, they pick up 5 yards almost like it's nothing.
And they're going to get inside the 2-yard line, and it's going to be 1st and goal, or 2nd and goal now as Clubber Moss again with another touchdown-saving tackle as he's up to 6 on the evening. And here going to be a handoff to Harris up the middle, and that's been their go-to play. They like running that. I believe that's like the 4th or 5th time that they've actually been in that formation. It's been a handoff or a play action every time that they've called it.
And I think that's Harris's 2nd touchdown of the night. So again, Harris and Ray, I think, are guys that Kent State needs to account for. Otherwise, Bowling Green, I mean, you look at the drives that they've had, they're really not finding this Kent State defense difficult tonight.
Yeah, there's been some big plays, but really it's just been the Dink and Dunk offense getting them down the field, very methodical as well. And Harris, he's had 3 touchdowns on the season rushing, and he's already had 2 in this game. So one more, and he ties his season output.
And we're early, and you got to believe with how Bowling Green's modus operandi has been today, he's probably going to get that.
Dylan Tate dropped it back, throwing it underneath. Pass is going to be caught by Jason Nickelberry for a pickup of 5.
You got to wonder what's going through Bowling Green's defense mind right now. I mean, they're doing a great job. They give up the play, but again, they're not letting them build momentum off of those big plays.
There's Tyler King Jr., 8 yards on that carry, and he's 3 yards per average. He's going to have to get that up here if Kent State's going to keep their offense clicking.
Still early in the second quarter, so plenty of time, and it's only a 7-point game, but Kent State has got to do something. Man, Dylan Tate, though, refusing to go down.
And Dylan Schaefer, it's going to be Dylan Schaefer with the sack there. So 2nd and 14, and this offense for Kent State really needs to start get going here. So 2 receivers to the top, 1 to the bottom for Dylan Tate. Drops back, and he's going to throw it underneath. Pass is going to be caught out wide. Trying to get upfield is John Blair. He picks up 7, so a manageable 3rd and 6 here.
You know, the way that Bowling Green has played that screen all night, they're dialed into it. Kent's got to make some adjustments and get away from that screen.
3rd and 6. Tight end in motion from left to right is Radloff. Dylan Tate dropping back, but he doesn't see anything he likes, decides to take off, and that's not going to work because Steven Kovacs is there and will get his first sack of the evening, and a big stop for the Falcons yet again.
The Falcons defense just doing such a good job. I mean, you can tell that they did their research. They know where the tendencies are. They knew the screen was going to be a big play that Kent was going to throw, and they've been ready for pretty much everything that Kent has thrown at them.
So with under 3 minutes left to go in the first half, very fast-moving first half of play as well, as this one is punted away, and it's going to be fielded at the 20-yard line as Nick Edwards trying to get going, breaks out of a tackle, but he stumbles his way for 14. All right, so we got 2:38 left to go. What do you still want to see from this Bowling Green offense?
More of the same. I mean, what they're doing is working. Why would you change it right now?
1st down and 10 for Jake Brummer. Going to hand it off to Harris. He's going to try to go up the middle. He's breaking out of tackles, and what a powerful run that was, and brought down by Jack Armstrong.
What I want to see from Kent's defense is they got to pressure Brummer a little bit more. I mean, the numbers speak for himself. He's not having a difficult time at all.
Ooh, and they brought the pressure on that one, so they actually brought the blitz, as the receiver should have had that. It should have been caught for close to a 1st down, but it falls incomplete.
We'll see if Kent dials that up a little bit more, because that's the first time that I think we've seen Brummer really have any real problems.
There it is. They decide to call another blitz, but instead they find Kyle DeVita from Jake Brummer and Clubber Moss with another tackle, as it's going to be 1st down and 10, though, so they convert the 3rd down, move to 2 and 4 on the night. Another blitz from the Golden Flashes, but Jake Brummer is now just carving them up, and another catch by Kyle DeVita.
His eyes were downfield the entire time. He knew someone was going to be open. He knew he was probably going to take a hit. I'm impressed with Brummer tonight.
And that seems to be the maturation process for a quarterback, is can you stay in the pocket and deliver a throw, especially against the blitz? And Jake Brummer did just that on that last play. Here, 1st down and 10, under a minute and 50 left to go. Brummer going to take a shot deep, got a receiver, it is caught, and he will be pushed out inside the 10. Joshua Shuren on the reception.
Some night it's just your night, and Jake Brummer is having his night so far. He has been just spectacular to watch.
What a play. And so that one incompletion was the one where Kent State decided to bring a blitz, and the receiver couldn't corral it. And so he gets his first incompletion here. Harris up the middle on halfback draw, keeps it, and he powers his way into the end zone. He has tied his season output of 3 rushing touchdowns in this game. And
again, Bowling Green is just not – Kent State has not been able to stop them. I think they've forced maybe a punt or two. They've gotten a field goal, but Kent State has just made it huge Bowling Green has just made it a huge challenge for Kent State to stop him, especially that man right there.
Yeah, he trucked over Ezekiel Pitts, and normally the middle linebacker for Kent State is one of the most, he's one of the hardest hitters, and he's had some big games that I've called, and there he just got, Harris just owned him. Meanwhile, going on in the other game with Nebraska and Oklahoma, they are actually starting the second half as Oklahoma is up 9-6, looking to pull off the upset over in Lincoln, Nebraska. That went over on twitch.tv. Dylan Tate, he was trying to find his receiver, but came out of his arm a little wobbly, and it goes incomplete.
In my mind, this is a big drive for Kent. They need to put something on the board. The momentum is squarely with Bowling Green. You got to do something to give your defense a rest, and you've got to do something to get some of that momentum back yourself.
There goes Dylan Tate. He's going to try to do that. He delivers a forearm shiver, to David Anderson Jr., and he picks up another big rushing play for Dylan Tate as Bill Cherry having to come in and clean that out, or else Dylan Tate would still be running.
And now this is what I was talking about. Kent's got to get some momentum built on this drive. Less than 90 seconds away from the locker room. They've got to have something to build upon because Bowling Green has just been fantastic on offense.
Another blitz, and again, another tackle for Dylan Schaefer as he's just been owning Dylan Tate, and Kent State having to burn their first time out of the first half. So Dylan Tate on second down, again, deciding to take off, but goes right into the hands of Steven Kovacs this time.
Third and long coming up, and again, Kent State gets a huge electrifying play, and the Bowling Green says, all right, we're done with that, and just shuts down any momentum they've built after that.
Dylan Tate, shotgun formation, trips to the top of the formation for him. Blitz coming up the middle, takes a shot deep. It is incomplete. The receiver and the corner both had a chance at it. But boy, what a gutsy call from the Falcons to bring up pressure there.
And another punt after another big play by Kent. I sound like a broken record, but you got to be impressed with the short memory of the Bowling Green defense. They allowed the big run by Tate, and then they put him 3 and out the rest of the way.
Nick Edwards, 6-yard return. So 48 seconds left to go. If you're Bowling Green, do you decide to take the foot off the gas pedal here, or are you going? Are you still putting it down and going for the jugular?
I think you're going for the jugular because they get the ball back at the second half. You can go 2 for 1.
Trips to the top of the formation. They go empty set. And Brummer will connect. It is caught down the sidelines. Joshua Shurin, this time he is in. He's not going to be pushed out of bounds. And 68 yards later, there's the jugular play as the Falcons and now extend the lead to 3 scores.
Bowling Green is just, they came ready to play. They came off the bus wanting the upset. Kent State now on their heels for really the first time this season. We'll see how they respond.
Yeah, coming in 3-0 in conference play. Meanwhile, Bowling Green, they are 1-2 in conference play. So this could be another big game, just like we saw from NIU last night, who was able to beat Miami, Ohio. So I know Ohio plays next. And
Toledo too.
Yeah, I mean, even Toledo, could they pull it off against Ohio? So I mean, boy, I mean, the MAC standings could be up in flux after this last night of games.
Oh man, this is just crazy to watch. I don't know how the tiebreaker goes. I don't know where all that falls, but you got to think right now that Kent State's going to fall to 2-2. Bowling Green is going to come up to 2-2, and then, like you say, if Toledo beats Ohio, guess where both of those teams are at?
Meanwhile, Steven Kovacs is just going to tackle Dylan Tate. I think Dylan Tate needs to start airing this one out. He tries to take off and run, but it just hasn't been there. And a 2-by-2 set look after, with 28 seconds left to go, he finds his receiver, John Blair, for a pickup of 11, so it's going to be 3rd and 1.
If you're Kent State, you got to air it out the rest of the game. You've got to get points, and you got to get them quick. And then if you're the defense, you've got to figure out a way to stop Bowling Green. They have had their way from the word go pretty much.
So they convert a 3rd down. That's only their third down conversion. They move to 3 and 8 in that department as Kovacs, again, he's having a big night already. 4 tackles for loss and 3 sacks. And so 15 seconds left to go. Dylan Tate again trying to scramble, but that is not going to work as Schaefer and Kovacs will get the sack.
4 sacks for Kovacs tonight. He is just having a game. This will be the final one of the half.
He almost got another one coming in off the edge as Gary Kent with the reception. And we saw last night, actually, Elon, is that the sack record was broken, and it's at 6 now. So Kovacs is definitely on his way to maybe getting that or possibly topping that, as he has 4 in that first half of play. But as we come to the halftime break, Eli, man, it's been a wild game, and we thought it was maybe going to be a back and forth battle, but then the Bowling Green Falcons defense just took advantage, and the offense has not been stumbled at all.
Hats off to Bowling Green. They played great from the opening whistle. They converted their opening drive for a touchdown, and then just this play right here, right before the half, it really puts all of the pressure on Kent State. Bowling Green can just start. They probably 1 or 2 touchdowns away from just getting a heavy dose of Tenarius Harris to just run that clock down. Harris, my apologies. And right now, if you're Kent State, you've got to do something. I mean, look at that. 255 to 96, 121 to 72. Time of possession is much shorter because it's been explosive plays from Bowling Green. And then Kent State, it's not like they haven't had their explosive plays. They just have not been able to build on it.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's been all Bowling Green in that first half. But what adjustments do you want to see from both teams in the second half?
Well, Bowling Green, I think, like I said, you're probably 1 or 2 touchdowns away from just feeding it to the ground and just taking as much time off the clock as you can. Kent, they got to start going to the air more. They need to really rely on the arm of Dylan Tate. He feels like, I think he's had to do it all on his own with his legs. But like right here, almost all these highlight runs are runs from Tate. He needs help in the downfield, and he needs to really start showing off his arm.
Meanwhile, in Lincoln, Nebraska, it's still a field goal fest as the 6th field goal of the game, and OU is on top 12-6 midway through the third quarter. That went over on twitch.tv. Here, 31-10, it's been all Falcons as Jake Brummer throwing it across the middle. He was looking for Sherman, but it falls incomplete. Pitts with the deflection.
And that could have been a play that built some momentum for Kent if Pitts is able to hold on to that. Right now, I think Bowling Green is running so high, they're going to put that one out of their mind pretty quickly.
Brummer decides to take off and run with it, but the defense is there, and a big stop as Matthew Prestige is up there with the corner blitz, and he gets home.
That's another big one. We'll see if what Kent can do against him on 3rd and down. This is only their 5th attempt from 3rd down. It's just mind-boggling to think about.
Yeah, it's been wild. The 3rd down conversions, they have not been in 3rd down for most of the game. And that's, if you're an offensive coordinator or a coach, that you got to love that, as Brummer will find Tenarius Harris for a pickup of 10, but their first drive of the second half is going to result in a 3-and-out.
Now I think it's all on the Bowling Green defense to keep that momentum. Kent, the door is open. I mean, it's not been slammed shut, but the door is open. If Kent can get a touchdown in this first drive, that would be huge.
And on the return is Dawson Tate, pickup of 14. And so I know you were alluding to the legs of Dylan Tate, but what receiver do you want to see have a big second half?
I think you need to see Dawson Tate have a big second half. You need to use Tyler King in the screen game as well. That's who I'm thinking about.
Throwing it underneath, that's Radloff, the tight end, for a pickup of 5 on the play. So very good play on 1st down, and it's 2nd and 5 upcoming.
Radloff was the one who got that, I think it was a 39-yard bomb from Tate. So he's also one that I think Bowling Green's going to have to account for as well.
Play action. Dylan Tate will fire a pass. Is going to be caught. And John Blair with another reception, pickup of 11. He's been used the last couple of offensive drives and already up to 29 yards.
We'll see how Bowling Green is able to respond. They've been able to kind of shut down momentum from Kent throughout the day. We'll see if that continues.
Halfback pitch to Tyler King Jr., and that's not going to work because Bill Cherry gets out there yet again, and he gets a stop, and that's already tackle number 7.
Cherry is just having a game out here tonight.
Dylan Tate dropping back. He's going to look to Tyler King Jr., but was not on the same wavelengths, and it falls incomplete.
This is a big play for Kent. This is a big play for Kent. If they don't convert this, it's gone the exact same way the first half has gone for this Bowling Green defense.
Taking a shot deep, he connects, touchdown! You called for it, and John Blair into the end zone. He's been used heavily the last couple of offensive plays, and boy, what a way. I like that. When the receiver's done a lot for you, then you know what? You reward him with a touchdown and a streak route up the middle, and nobody accounts for him.
And the door is wide open for Kent State now. If their defense can do exactly what they did last time, they're back in this one. What a heck of a debut for Bill Cherry. I mean, this is his first CFSL game, and he's making an impact for Bowling Green. But back to Kent State, that is a huge play for the home team. And now, again, it's on the defense to keep that up.
Yeah, and we don't talk about maybe here, Nick Edwards. And one man to beat, and he will get the tackle. That's Deion Wyatt, the kicker, coming up with a touchdown-saving tackle. Wow, so we're seeing it from everybody's coming up with big plays. This Harris motions back into the backfield, and Brummer will throw incomplete. Meanwhile, Nebraska, they add a field goal following an Oklahoma turnover, and it's 12-9. The Sooners with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter over on twitch.tv. Option keeper here, and that's not going to work as big old Jack Armstrong, the defensive end, wrapping up Jake Brummer and dropping him for a loss.
It almost feels like things have switched a little bit. Bowling Green gets a big explosive play, and now Kent State's defense is standing up and killing the momentum.
31-17, Brummer halfback screen to Harris, and that's going to be stopped in the backfield. Probably not a play call you'd want to see, Elon, but again, it's very conservative that they went with here, and I'm surprised that maybe they didn't try to take a shot downfield or, again, try to test the middle of the defense for Kent State.
I am surprised, too. I mean, I can kind of see it. You're up by enough, and you trust your defense, but man, this is exactly where Kent State wants to be. They're back in this game, and a touchdown on this drive would take away all the momentum that Bowling Green has built up in that first half.
And remember, it was a big kick return as well from Nick Edwards, and Deion Wyatt was the one that had to make the tackle, so the kicker had to save a touchdown. And again, maybe a little swing of a momentum as it looked like Bowling Green was looking to looking to add a touchdown after Kent State scored, so to match the scoring output. But again, after that, it was 3 and out, and now the ball goes back to Dylan Tate, who could he be red hot and maybe start of a comeback here in the second half. Almost intercepted, and he could do it all. He could drop back, and that's Stephen Kovacs with a deflection.
If he holds on to that, then then Bowling Green can start thinking about that touchdown to ice it. But right now, Kent State, let's see how short their memory is, see if they can make something happen here.
Halfback screen, and there goes Tyler King Jr. breaking out of tackles and getting close to the first. They're going to say he did to get the first down. It's Sky Baines with the tackle, not able to bring him down before Tyler King Jr. picks up the first down.
I think it's the right call. That the spot's correct in my opinion. I thought he broke the line for sure. And now Kent State building that momentum. Let's see what they do with it.
Play action for Dylan Tate. Takes off and runs, but he's going to be sacked for a loss on the play, and we will see Eduardo Ochoa for the first time coming up and making a sack.
And Jeff, that is not the play. You have to get Tate out of running. You need to see him be more like what we saw from Brummer in that first half. Stand in the pocket, find your man, and get it downfield. They're not going to get that one, get a lot from these little short passes with being down and with there's still plenty of time, but not a whole lot.
And there's Jace Diggleberry for a pickup of 1 on the play, or pickup of 2 on the play. So again, another short pass play, and gonna be 3rd and 9 for Kent State, and that's something they don't want to be in because they have barely converted on their third downs, and that one could have been intercepted, but it falls incomplete as Shane Haas was the one that was tested, and he almost passed that test.
The momentum in this drive died when Tate thought he had to make something happen. And that it's kind of reminiscent of what we saw in the first half. I mean, Kent looked like they had the momentum, and now Bowling Green's defense makes another great stand, and Bowling Green's going to get the ball back, still up by more than 2 touchdowns. So you got to like where the Falcons are at. Now their offense just needs to get clicking again.
Quick throw from Brummer finds his receiver, and that's going to be McLaren for a pickup of 8 on the play, bringing up 2nd and 2. Meanwhile, in Lincoln, Nebraska, the defenses have been virtually impenetrable in that game, as another field goal sees the game tied at 12 under a minute to go in the third quarter. That one over on Twitch.tv. But meanwhile here, it's been Bowling Green as Joshua Shuren up to 131 yards now and gains another first down.
Brummer 22 of 25. There's not a lot they can do to rattle this guy.
Uber, meanwhile, has 7 tackles in a quiet performance for him. And McLaren, yet again, pickup of 7 on the play.
That'll bring up 2nd and 3.
Trey White was in on that stop, getting his 5th tackle of the evening. Jake Brummer, shotgun formation. Receiver coming in motion, sets up in the backfield. Could this be a triple option play? Yes, it is. Brummer breaks out of the first, pitches it to Harris, who's got the edge. 30, 35, 20, and pushed out of bounds at around the 17-yard line.
Harris has just been on fire today, already over the century mark. And we still got a quarter to go where you're probably looking at a heavy dose of him.
Dale Uber yet again with another tackle. And it's been a couple of touchdown saving tackles by Kent State, but it hasn't been enough. 31-17 with 4:11 left to go in the third quarter. Receiver in motion, we just saw this play. Are they going to run it again? Yeah, they will, as Harris got the edge and gets it inside the 5.
Picks up the first down easily, and that's exactly what you don't want to do if you're Kent State, is give up that 1st and goal, because they've been great inside the red zone.
1st and goal for Jake Brummer. Going to keep it on the option keeper. He's into the end zone for a touchdown. Not able to get a hand is Christopher Barnes, as Jake Brummer leads the Falcons into Pater as they extend the lead. It's now 37-17. Meanwhile, Eddie Reed gets the first touchdown of the night in Lincoln, Nebraska, and a 67-yard bomb, as again Oklahoma is up 19-12 early in the fourth quarter over on Twitch.tv. And the extra point is through the uprights for Mason Davis and good. So it's now 38-17.
Now you got to think that Kent State's got to respond with the TD of their own, and just to keep this just a little bit more in reach. I mean, still plenty of time to go, but if you go down by 28 points, that might be a hill too far.
And especially with the way Bowling Green has been playing and taking the home fans out of this in the rivalry game and at Dick Stadium. I mean, they love the fans, and the Golden Flashes fans just haven't had anything to cheer for, as Dawson Tate will pick up 3 on the play. So this is maybe a score here, gets those fans back into it and gets that momentum back on your sideline.
On the other side, a turnover or a punt, just an unsuccessful drive, I think it might be enough for Bowling Green to think they have it.
Sky Baines with pressure and gets home, and that's going to be his 2nd sack on the evening as Dylan Tate runs into his tight end, Redloff.
Kent State came in looking like one of the favorites in the MAC, and now Bowling Green might be bringing them back to the rest of the pack.
3rd and 10 for Dylan Tate. Pressure coming. He finds Blakely Radloff across the middle. Pickup of 9, and it's going to be 4th and 1. I know it's too early, but is it a possibility? I know they're bringing out the punting unit, and I know you don't want to at least give the ball back to the Falcons in their own territory, but would you have considered going for it?
I think you consider it, but ultimately I think you might have made the right call. Because, I mean, 1 yard, Bowling Green's defense has been great, especially against the run. And then with the way that the pass just was not working on that drive, that was probably the right call. But you got to wonder if Bowling Green turns this into points, even a field goal, is that the final nail in the coffin?
McLaren with a pickup of 9 there, and tackle by Trey White, the corner, as now he's up to 6 tackles on the evening. 38-17 with just under 2:25 left to go, as Jake Brummer stays red hot and finds Vito Parr for a pickup of 9 and a first down, and the ball inside Golden Flash's territory.
And Bowling Green, it smells blood in the water, and they're going for it right here.
1st and 10, 4-down defensive lineman, tight end in motion for Jake Brummer, keeps it on play action, and he's going to fire it back across his body and finds the receiver, Joshua Shurin, for a pickup of 12.
Big pickup by Shurin, and again, it just keeps that momentum on Bowling Green's side on a cold night here in Kenton. Bowling Green, despite being 34 degrees, comes out red hot. Oh my goodness.
Brigham Ray from 34 yards out, and the connection between Brummer and Ray stays red hot. And you were talking about maybe smelling blood in the water, as the corner, Scott Jones, just could not keep up with Ray this time. And again, taking advantage of some mismatches that the Falcons done all game long. And you said up by 28, and now it's now the realization that they are down 28.
Now if you're Kansas State, no matter what, you're in 4-down territory. You've got to get a touchdown here, or it's done. I really don't think you can come back if you don't put points up here, especially because Bowling Green's definitely going to have the ball more. We're only in the 3rd quarter. They're just going to march that score up.
And we saw the biggest comeback was 25. So this one already 3 points. It would be one of the largest comebacks, but you got to do this in literally 1 quarter of play, as Dylan Tate sacked again, this time David Anderson Jr.
Bowling Green is just looking to clog up anything that Tate may think he has. They're doing a great job letting Tate think that something is open, and then he just shut the door on him.
Hasn't had very much. He has had some good runs, but just the escapability just hasn't been there. And you could give credit to the Falcons really preparing for Dylan Tate. And here bringing the pressure, but Tate connects with Tyler King Jr. this time on the reception. Pickup of 9 in a 3rd and 1.
You know, I think you really got to take hats off to Bowling Green's Bowling Green's defense. This is a team, Jeff, that came in here scoring an average of about 30 points per game. They've held them to 17 through almost 3 quarters.
Dylan Tate, again, deciding to take off and run. It's going to be interesting who gets credit for that sack, as Tyler Rogalski will, but also, I mean, Steven Kovacs was in the vicinity, and I thought maybe that he would be credited with it, but it was Rogalski that got his hand on Dylan Tate. And so another 3 and out, and going to have to punt this one back to a red-hot Falcons offense yet again.
Yeah, and now it's if you're Bowling Green, you may look at maybe trying to play the rest of the 3rd quarter, and then when you get to that 4th, you're just going to feed them a heavy dose of Tenarius Harris.
And something that we really haven't seen is Jake Brummer having any miscues. He's been red hot against the Flash's defense. And, I mean, it's kudos to him and Jake Brummer and the entire coaching staff for the Falcons. And when you have a quarterback that hasn't turned the ball over and can take advantage of the mismatches, you got to love it.
I said it earlier. Sometimes it's just your night, and Jake Brummer, it's your night, buddy.
1st down and 10. Brummer, the lefty, will sling the rock yet again to Ray for a pickup of 9. We saw Curtis Andrews win Offensive Player of the Week last week for the MAC. Jake Brummer trying to do his part to keep it in the MAC.
Absolutely. I mean, when you go out and just dominate the way that he's done, there's no reason to believe he won't.
Breaking out of a tackle, and what a run after the catch that was by Kyle DeVita, who's been used heavily and has had some nice catches, and again gets the ball inside Golden Flash's territory.
It's just crazy to me that Bowling Green turns out yet another great team. They won the MAC the first year. Toledo, the team I am on, was 2nd. But a lot of those guys are gone. A lot of them went and followed their coach to Boise State, and they still bring back just a high-quality team.
As another connection to Ray for 24-yard touchdown bomb, as Jake Brummer adds 3 touchdowns to his name in the game. As there was pressure in his face, but Ray was so wide open that it was just an easy pitch and catch. And it's now a 50-burger for the Falcons.
And we're just barely getting into the 4th. Jeff, it would not surprise me one bit if that is the last pass we see Brummer throw, as they're probably going to be looking to just run down the clock now. I think this is out of reach for Kent State. What a performance by Bowling Green.
It's the end of the third quarter. We'll be back with the fourth after this. You're watching PX1 Sports on YouTube. Back to the start of the fourth quarter. I'm Jeff Melanishin, and the broadcast partner with me tonight is Elon Olive, as we are coming to you live from Kent, Ohio, where the rivalry game has been one-sided, to say the least. And this one is Bowling Green on top 52-17 as Dawson Tate with the return. But Jake Brummer, Elon, he had no touchdowns and 88 yards last week. And I can say that this has been probably one of the better games that he has had.
It might be the best game. I'm looking through it right now. I mean, first game of the season, he got 190 yards. He's over that for sure. Game number 2, he's 242 yards. Game number 3, I mean, this might be the best performance he's had in his career.
First and 15 after the penalty. Pocket starting to collapse around Dylan Tate. Takes a shot. That one into double coverage, and luckily it wasn't intercepted on the play. And that's going to be Stephen Brady who's going to want to have that one back.
Yeah, he might beat himself up a little bit, but when you look at how this Kent State team averages around 30 points per game, and they've been held to 17, this Bowling Green defense is going to celebrate. They're a big reason why they're going to come out of here with the win.
Dylan Schaefer with the sack. He gets up to 4. So combined between Schaefer and Kovacs, they have 7 on the night. Meanwhile, Andrew Jordan, 12-yard touchdown run as Oklahoma extends the lead to 26-12 midway through the fourth quarter. They try to pull off the upset in Lincoln, Nebraska, and a 4th and 7 upcoming for the Golden Flashes.
And Bowling Green's going to get the ball back again. We'll see if they decide to get aggressive or if they're going to let their foot off the gas. They're going to have great field position, though. I mean, only a 9-yard return, but that puts them on the center.
Yeah, if it was me, I would not take the foot off the gas pedal, because you never know if you do so. You just never know what can happen. I know it's a big lead for the Falcons, but you know this is how you've been playing. You might as well, if they can't stop it. The saying's always been, run it till they stop it. And Tenarius Harris pick up a 4.
I mean, what a game he's had with the score the way it is. He's not even close to being used. He might get to 150 tonight, maybe even 200.
Jake Brummer not on the same page as Gabriel Cole, was in the vicinity for the deflection, but he won't get credited with it. But Jake Brummer, that's probably the first real mistake that we've seen from him.
Yeah, and this late in the game, he can easily shrug that one off.
Especially with the lead that they have, is Harris trying to get going, but just running into his own lineman, and that doesn't work out. As Trey White will get his 8th tackle and first tackle for loss of the evening.
And that's the first time in a while we've really seen Tenarius Harris get stuffed. And a good adjustment by the Kent defense coming into the fourth quarter. Unfortunately, I think it's too little too late, Jeff.
The punt is away for the Falcons, and it's going to not be fielded. It's going to bounce into the end zone. I actually thought that Dawson Tate was going to field that one. And so coming up next, coming up around 8:45 Eastern time, we got number 9 Texas and LSU on Twitch. Meanwhile, we get to see number 15 Ohio taking on Toledo on YouTube, and the first time a MAC team has been ranked in the CFSL poll for the first time, and that's going to be good to see.
Yeah, a lot of talk in the Toledo locker room about how they're huge underdogs, and they're really thriving on that. A lot of talk about that right now.
So 2nd and 4, Dylan Tate in the shotgun formation, 2 receivers to the top, 1 to the bottom. Got all sorts of time and throwing it across the middle. That's something he hasn't really had, is time, as he finds Tyler King Jr. for a first down and pick up a 7.
Good work there by the O-line of Kent State, giving him the chance to really make that. You mentioned he hasn't had a lot of time today, and really that's caused him to try to make the play on his own, and that hasn't been very successful, as we see it happen yet again.
Schaefer and Kovacs in on the sack, as Dylan Schaefer will get credited with that. And he's up to 4 now and ties Kovacs, and they both have 4 on the night.
And then, as you mentioned, another player with 3. So it's it's been quite a sack party there for Bowling Green.
Yeah, it's been there's been an invitation to a party, and it's been in the backfield of the Kent State Golden Flashes in this game, as it's trips to the bottom of the formation here on 2nd and 17. Tate fired underneath to his tight end Radloff, and he picks up 8 before he's going to be tackled on the play. Meanwhile, going on over in Lincoln, Nebraska, Oklahoma gets a stop on 4th and 21 and takes over on downs with 1:50 to go, as they are up 26-12. As over here on YouTube, it's 4th and 9 upcoming, as they just cannot convert a 3rd down, the Golden Flashes.
It would be interesting to me when the stats come out what the 3rd down numbers for both of these teams were. I mean, Bowling Green hasn't been all that successful on 4th down, but they haven't had to be. They've done a good job making things happen in the first 2 downs. So it will be interesting to see what those numbers are.
52-17 is the score, as the Falcons just trying to bleed some of the game clock now, as Brummer still going to throw the football, throws it out wide, and the pass is going to be caught by Kyle DeVita for a pickup of 4.
That makes it 2nd and 6.
2nd and 6, 3 down defensive lineman for Kent State on this play. Brummer across the middle finds his receiver Shurin, picks up 13 yards and a 1st down for the Falcons.
They're not done yet. I mean, just under 6 minutes to play, and Bowling Green has still got that pedal to the metal.
Jake Brummer now past 400 yards passing. Cenarius Harris will pick up 6 yards on the play, and then he will be tackled roughly right after that, and it's going to be 2nd and 4.
Jeff, the MAC, I mean, it's only 2 years old, or 2 seasons old, but it seems like every season it's just the Wild West. I mean, here we are, we were talking about how Kent was looking like they were clear of the field for a while, and now Bowling Green brings them back. They're going to have the same records after this game in the MAC. And then you got the real possibility where Toledo plays Ohio in the next game. If Toledo pulls off the upset, then you've got 4 teams that are just right there.
Yeah, it's really wild. I mean, it's almost like you want to have a kind of a conference championship game, the 2 best, just to go head to head and see who really is. It's Nick Edwards with the carry. He picks up 10 yards. Very powerful run. And meanwhile, Oklahoma pulls off the upset in Lincoln, Nebraska, as they win 26-12, as Nebraska falls in that one over on twitch.tv. 1st and 10 here. Jake Brummer having a career night, but that's not going to work out for him on that one, as Dick Manchin gets home, or excuse me, Cole Jenkins gets home and gets his 1st sack.
Well, last season in the MAC, going back to what you were saying, was crazy. It worked out to where Toledo and Bowling Green were tied going into the final game of the season, and they played each other. So it basically became the MAC championship. It's just so wild how these teams always end up being so even.
And plus adding a couple new teams this season as well, it just shows you the growth of the league and growth, how they have to expand into the MAC as well, as Gabriel Cole picks up his 5th tackle on Kyle DeVita.
And you're going to see a lot of these MAC players play for Power 3 schools next year, or next season rather. And coaches are licking their chops when the transfer portal opens to see if they can get a Brummer, if they can get a Dylan Tate. And Brummer again, gosh.
Yeah, four touchdowns, 455 yards passing, as he connects with Joshua Shurin in the back of the end zone, able to get 1 foot down. And that's going to be good for a touchdown, and just Bowling Green extending the lead on Kent State. I'm sure nobody saw this offensive output for the Falcons actually coming to fruition. And sometimes you just got to, sometimes, like you said, just tip your cap. Sometimes it's not your night, and here for Kent State, just outplayed on both facets of the game.
Yeah, I'm looking up Jake Brummer's stats right now. His previous best week, 290. So just blowing it out of the water tonight.
He could if he gets one more offensive he's at 455, I believe. So just one more offensive series for him, and I think he gets over that. He probably puts up 200 over that for 290 that he's had. So 2nd and 2 upcoming for Dylan Tate.
And Kent State, they're going to right the ship. They've got one more game. I believe they play Toledo next. I'll double check that right now. But they'll right the ship. They'll get things going again, and they'll be back, and they'll definitely still, they'll be at Toledo next week. They'll be in the conversation for a MAC title still, even after this setback. Wow, 623 yards.
Yeah, Bowling Green's just been taking it to him, and you always have. It always seems like there's always a game like this. Every AD, every coach goes through it. You have one of these games where it's just, for whatever reason, it's just not your night. And I know when I was AD, it seemed every time I played Texas, it seemed to be this kind of night.
Well, and again, Bowling Green is the defending MAC champions. They came in, I think, with something to prove. There was a lot of talk about Kent, and they're like, you know what? We still hold the crown until someone takes it from us. And now they came out, and I think they took it personal.
Dylan Tate having to fire this one out of bounds. And so we got number 15, Ohio, and Toledo coming up next. What are you really intrigued about in that game?
I think Toledo has finally got that offense figured out. I know Coach has been working really, really hard to figure out how to best balance the talents of Dallas Gregory along with Tanner. And Dallas Gregory is a beast. He just takes the rock and will go through crowds. But I know he also wants to see Tanner ball out and go to the air a little bit more. We've got a great wide receiver core, and I'm curious to see how they are going to come out against Ohio when the stakes are actually pretty high, because I think they're the last hope for the MAC.
Yeah, so 2nd and 13 upcoming. Dylan Tate will hand this one off to Tyler King Jr. Nice vision. Able to cut it back inside after trying to go to the right. Didn't see anything he likes. Picks up positive yards. It's going to be 3rd and 4 upcoming, and that's going to be a good game coming up on YouTube. Coming up around 8:45-ish, give or take. But meanwhile, we got Texas and LSU over on Twitch. What do you envision in that one?
I think that's going to be just a track meet. I mean, Vito Pepino is over on Texas. He's just been he had a bit of a bad year last year, and I know he's had his struggles, but I mean he's a past offensive player of the year for a reason. I expect that one to just be entertaining, I think, is the name that I think of when I think of that game.
As a handoff it's going to be Jason Nickelberry on a 6-yard reception. So 2nd and 4 for the Golden Flashes. And with 1:34 left to go, they've been taking the wind out of the Bowling Green sails, is not giving Jake Brummer any sort of momentum here to maybe get to 500 passing yards in the game.
We'll see. I mean, that might be what's motivating the Bowling Green defense right now. They're like, hey, if we give up a touchdown, what's the worst that can happen in minute 12? That might be the motivation. Is like, let's give our quarterback a chance to really go out there and show off.
3rd and inches. Can they convert a 3rd down? They've done so a little bit on this drive, and that's not going to work. It's going to be 4th and inches upcoming. I'm sure they're going to go for it on 4th down.
228 yards is nothing to sneeze at, and that's what Dylan Tate is going to leave with here tonight. Finally, they're going to go for it on 4th down here, though. I'm wondering why not just kick the field goal there? I mean, it's not like a touchdown is gonna make any difference in this game. Also, where was that going for the 4th down a little bit earlier in the game when really it could have made a difference?
For sure, and that's going to be one that maybe the coaching staff will have to answer in the post game, as well as throwing it underneath, as Dylan Tate will find John Blair for a pickup of 3 on the play, but going to be 2nd and 7, so under 37 seconds left to go.
And unfortunately, you're right. I don't think we're going to get to see Mr. Brummer out there again, but man, what a performance by him. What a performance by Bowling Green from top to bottom. Their defense has been great. I mean, think about how many explosive plays Kent had where Bowling Green could have easily let that get out of hand, but they shut it down so quick.
And really, they just forced Kent State to kick or to basically punt the football instead of, keeping those drives alive and letting them convert third downs. They really buckled down on defense when needed to and really broke it open in that second quarter, start of the third, because that's when we were looking at 10-10, and then all of a sudden a scoring barrage for the Falcons and just no answer as a turnover on downs with no time left. So we won't see Jake Brummer maybe a Hail Mary or something. So that's going to do it here from Dick Stadium. Just your quick final thought here, Elin, before we sign off.
I think Bowling Green just played their best football at the perfect time. I agree. This is definitely the play of the game. This was that one that happened with like 38 seconds left in the first half. But Bowling Green definitely showing up when it mattered most.
So on behalf of my analyst, Elin Olive, and executive producer Mike Peters and associate producer David Roy, I'm Jeff Melanishin. This has been a presentation of the CFSL on PX1 Sports on YouTube. Once again, Bowling Green getting the upset victory against Kent State. Meanwhile, we'll be back at around 8:45-ish with number 9 Texas and LSU on Twitch and number 15 Ohio taking on Toledo on YouTube.